you? How's it going? I'm gonna try to be here for a bit. Dude, this market is crazy. What an insane push. Yeah, it's crazy. How is it logical? Well, it's not, but it doesn't really matter. I know it can be frustrating though. So we're back to the POC shift, as you can see. So we've already built out 2 nodes in the day, which is crazy. We've got this lower node, right, and this upper node. And then we've just filled and transitioned through the LVN. Now we're back to this POC on both NQ and on ES. I mean, that was so much buying that happened on that pop-up from 9:30 to all the way up to 10:30. It's just like non-stop buying. And then it just disappeared. What was the news? Iran's state foreign minister briefs regional counterparts on Iran's stance on the end of the war. That was the end of that pop. Okay. And then this was the other piece of news that caused the drop. So you had 2 bearish news after all of that liquidity stepped in. So we had that first piece of news, and then we had the secondary piece of news. So there's your there are your catalysts. To 30K. Holy. And we're getting our bounce where we thought we would, off of our POC shift. Just going back up to fill this LVN. Right? And again, this is when we have a dual distribution like this, and we're holding that POC of our previous, right? All we're doing is filling this out so that it becomes a singular distribution. So we're getting that fill through this LVN. Let's see what we do. We can see that POC is now shifting back down here. That's what this dotted line is. Oh god. Dude, I can like barely talk. I don't know what's going on. Alright, new 15s have opened. Oh god. Hello? Sorry. My alarms are not responding. My phone is like broken. My touchscreen is not working. What the hell is this? Watch this Russell value retest here at the day open. Now that we've gotten this bounce, as we push into NQPOC here into 840 from previous candle, right? Very clear seller sitting above into this edge high. And we've got this stacked liquidity above on ES as well, but a little less solid compared to NQ. NQ, that's a very clear reoffer. Not as convinced on ES. Feels like we could go a bit higher, up to like 90. But what we do on NQ should give us an idea of what we want to do in the rest of the market with Russell. Right, we'll watch to see if RTY holds this lower high at our value edge and then rotates back down, or if we're going to be able to just flip and go. And then it'll be the same thing on NQ, where we'll watch to see what happens into this liquidity here. If we absorb, then we'll look for this to flip, and then we can play this down like so. If not, right, we're gonna have to wait for this POC to become supportive again, and then look for this rotation once we get over POC to value here. So really important to see how we interact as we push into the sell side. Oops. We're just watching a scene. This is going to be like a classic lower high bear flag, right? And then continuation down. Or do we just chop here for a bit, rotate back up to this upper node now that we've bounced this lower one? I don't have enough information yet. Oh gosh. So June 4th is the official date now for PDT. Dude, what is going on with this phone? Following our pathing so far. Let's see what happens here. We've got to get below this node, or it doesn't really matter. Rejecting POC of previous candle so far. Same thing with our POC shift here on Russell. We got to get below this in our VWAP, or it doesn't matter. But once we do, it'll be very clear where we're headed, which is down here. So we'll watch to see how we bounce here at this like 806, 805.7. So far bouncing, no look below, retesting our pivot. Like I said before, there's not enough information here on ES. Just a potential lower high. Wow, my phone is really acting up. What is going on? Holy shit, that's an old movie. Forgot about that movie. I have like I don't know, maybe like a 6-year-old phone at this point. It's just about that time. I only replace my phone once it starts like acting up. I'm not a new phone every year enjoyer. I think that's a bit much. I just kind of like buy things until they break. But it's about that it's about that time when we're there. I have Verizon texting me every day being like, "Hey, it's time for an upgrade. It's free. You just got to come into our store." And I still have been like, "Nah, I'm good." They're like, "But you got a free upgrade ready to go." Like, "Nah. It sounds like a lot." Maybe I'll do that this weekend. Brother, you're funny. So all I'm waiting for, boys, before I take a trade today is some sort of trapped liquidity. We're too slow for me to care. And we're holding our pivots. We're holding higher lows. We need some sort of trap. So what I'd like to see is some sort of like look above into this 40 to 60 area, ideally on NQ, and on ES, ideally like a little look above, and then a fail into that high, kind of a little bit of absorption, and then a push down. Or like a very clear offside seller at our lows, and then like a secondary bid stepping in. Because right now we're just sideways, right? Like if we go to our 5 minute, right? Like this is what we're doing right now. We're just sideways, inside candling, right? So we need some sort of new information. So either like a very clear look above into this, trapping liquidity up here and then pushing down, or like a very clear flip below and then continuation. Something new, right? We're not doing anything new. What we have though, again, is just like a POC above, very clear selling that happened up into these highs from a buyer who tried, right, and failed. And now as we've pushed down, we've retraced this entire move. And when we do this kind of like retracement where we push very quickly in one direction, right, one time framing up, and then we consolidate, and then we one time frame down through that same area, I want to be watching to see how we interact in this area between these two participants where there's been no interest on either side, right? We have interest up here, we have interest down here. There's nothing in the middle. So as we come in and retest this area, right, this is why it's so important, is this our offer? We should expect it to be our offer, right, on the push down. In ICT terms, this would be like an inverse fair value gap, but in reality, it's an LVN that we've created between our two node structures, and we've shown no desire to trade here, right? So this is why we're watching it with so much interest, is because of how we've built out on the day. We have all of this buying activity that happened up here where we absorbed, and then we had a secondary seller step in who swept price down through this buyer. And now we're holding that offer, right? So I really want to be watching to see how we are going to be interacting here, because if this holds, then we have an insane catalyst on the day with all of this liquidity offsides above, right? And holding this lower high after a very clear sweep. So this inverse is very important to me to keep an eye on. But we still need to see the trap, right? Just because we have a setup structurally, and just because we have a setup on with candles, doesn't mean that it's actually worthwhile trading if we don't have participants willing to do something with it, right? Like that's the important disconnect that I see a lot of people have, which is like, oh, I see the setup, but we don't have the speed, right? We don't have anything showing the desire yet. Yes, we see what we want. We have everything is aligning, right? Everything's in place of like, oh yeah, this could be really interesting, but we need the movement, right? So we've got our pathing, we've got our plan. Now we just need them to enact on it. New POCs have opened. We've got a starting of a trend, holding that as resistance across the board. See if we can get below and get some follow through so that we can actually get this trade going. Because if not, right, what is this going to be? Well, it could be chop here, balance, right, for the next 2 hours, for all we know. But our seller and our offer is holding. Just need to see this secondary move, push below, and then reoffer, and then we can start to play this down a bit more aggressively. But that look, like we just talked about, where we have the big pop up consolidation and then the pop down through that same area where we saw buyers, push, and then we're holding it as resistance, is incredibly important for that lower high. And then we play off of that. With this liquidity is now trapped above. That's the important part. It's back to our support here on NQ at the bottom of our range. This is our value of our previous candle. Just following our pathing so far. Let's see if we put in a lower high here. Reoffer this and then get below. So it'll be very important to get through this section here. If we can do that, then we'll be able to trade down to target. If not, right, this will just be the bottom and we'll just do another rotation. Watching Russell as well, following our pathing. Can we get below and reoffer our POC shift here? Or is this going to trap and then rotate again? The dashed yellow line on the stacked indicator. Are you talking about this line? You're talking about this line. This line, Jason? Oh, I can screenshot. Are you doing on this? There's no developing POC line on stacked. There shouldn't be a yellow dashed on anything that's stacked related, I don't think. me check. I'm not sure. Because I don't have that. So it's probably a structural break or something. Like a change of character or something like that. BOS line. I don't know what's... I'll have to look. It just looks like it's part of the signal. I think it's showing you the signal low of the candle. So it's probably an invalidation for stacked. For the reversal line. Just like on PVZ. Yeah, that's all it is. They print with the signal. Yeah, PVZ is very good. How did I come up with it? Well, I decided to make an indicator out of how I trade. I know it's a crazy concept. But it was like, man, maybe I should automate some of the things that I'm drawing on a daily basis. That's literally just all our indicators. Just like, how do I make my life easier? I want to be able to log in without having to do much work and have my level set, have areas of interest set, and then just be able to look at the chart and be like, oh yeah, this could be a potentially good setup, without having to do, you know, a ton of prep. Was all of our movement done on the day in the first like hour, or what? Like, what's the deal here? So just holding our lows, no shift, right? So we're doing the range idea where 80s are holding lows and we're just pushing back up to 840. So watch as we push into POC of our previous 15-minute candle. RTY held our lows, no look below VWAP and POC shift. So there's no continuation down. Yeah. Nothing we can do about it until we flip. Yes, there's still no one offsides that I want to be playing with. It's just holding PVZ value. So until we can shift below, we're in a ranging market. That was what we just talked about. Yeah, they're short-term reversal signals. So where we start to see pressure. You're supposed to be playing those into. Guys, do you ever read the descriptions of the indicators? Have you ever done that or no? Like, what are we talking about? The signals are like the main focus of stacked. What are we talking about here? Stacked is the arrows are literally stacked. Today's session is very telling, you know. All right, let's open up a new chart. Let's go to I don't know, let's go to this random chart here that we created yesterday. And then we're gonna go to our indicators. We're gonna type in structure. We're gonna go to this page here. We're gonna scroll down a little bit. Interesting. Whoa, what is all this? What are these words? Huh. What do I do with all this information? I don't know, man. It's like maybe I describe how to trade this entire thing. What the hell? Full range rotation here, just back up to our offer. Let's see what we do. Again, I think we need to create some sort of offside liquidity up into this upper zone, some sort of absorption, and then maybe we get the movement we want. Until then, it's just balance. No, I'm not going to do anything for you. You either choose to read or you don't. Not my problem if you don't want to read. You're all adults. Give yourself your own homework. Okay. Man, I remember when we used to give out homework and then we would ask people to show what they did and no one would show anything. That was very telling. Those levels are manual. I insert those and then they appear on all of my charts. So if you wanted to import, say, Mario's levels from the weekly newsletter, you could import them there. I just do that. They're like usually like the levels that I watch. I like to do it like that though, Jason, because then when I delete all my levels on the day, with my drawings, I still have I still have levels marked on the side in front of price. So I really like doing it like this so that everything is less messy. So like the areas that I actually care about are still marked, right? But I can delete all my drawings and still have things that I care about. That's all that is. I don't think we're going to get this downside move. I mean, we'll see what happens, but this low hold is pretty good. And Russell showing no desire. We're not seeing anything really that I care about. So we'll see what happens into these highs. But if we flip, then I mean, this is going to be an upside move instead of a downside. We'll see. We still need to see this flip above, but again, like I'm just treating this as a balanced rotation until we either see a clear hold below or a clear hold above. Pretty lackluster while we wait. This is what I'm seeing, that I'm still just like basing my my understanding of today on. Where's my screenshot tool? There it is. We just have like this massive node up here where all this buying happened, and we had these secondary buyers down here, right? And we can separate this into 770, 270, 260. This is where we're going to need to be able to breach, or this is just going to be, you know, the base before the rally. So we had a rally, base, rally, and now we have all this liquidity up here, those offsides. So what we're looking for is our relationship between these participants here, right, at this 25, or sorry, at the 75, these lows. We have this guy who got absorbed. What we need to see here is from this, right, this is just our buyer from before. Are we going to push up into this seller again? Trap liquidity here into a break out of this range, just like we did at these lows, and then look back in and then go, right, for like the Mario setup, or if you want to call it that. It's just a breakout failure, right? And if we get that, then we'll have the catalyst that we need for that secondary move playing off of this seller. And then we'll play that down to our 777, our 270, 260 liquidity that's into here. So we're really just watching to see how we interact as we push down, and if trapped liquidity happens into this for, oh god damn it, for the breakout failure, right? Because we have all of this selling pressure above us. Or is this low going to hold, and are we going to see secondary buyers step up above these highs and then rotate us back up to this upper node? We just don't have enough information yet, right? So it's a range play until proven otherwise, and the liquidity that happens below those lows or above these highs is what we're watching for, because that'll determine if we rotate balance again or if we'll have something new that happens, right? That's all this is. It's a rectangle, but what we know is that we had a huge buyer on the upside push, and that we have all of this selling pressure here, and this was all news-based, news-driven. So now that we're trading here, the only thing we can watch for is a break at these highs and how we interact into this, from this upper distribution here, right? All of this movement outside of value, and how we interact now in this balance that we're currently trading. We got to look below. We got a secondary buyer that stepped us back inside the range, that rotated us back up to the highs. Now that we're trading back at the highs, do we do something similar where we have a look below, right? This is our look below. So we had a look down, an entry back inside value, trapping this liquidity, and then a rotation through value. Do we have a look above and then a failure that rotates us again, just like we did here? Or are we able to carry on our way, right? Are we able to hold this high and then rotate up off of it? That's what we're waiting for. Just like at this low, where we had a look below and then a look back in and then a rotation through this node, are we going to trap into these highs on a break of this and then look back in for the rotation down, giving you a play, right, a value? Or are we going to be able to hold these higher lows and then continue on our way on the breach, and then a rotation back up to this seller up here into this node, right? That's the only thing that you should be looking at as potential plays. That's all we see. Is, do we trap into these highs on a failed look above for another rotation through, or are we able to sustain and then build and then rotate back up? But you should be able to very clearly see why this liquidity held from this. Does that make sense? Yeah, I mean, it is incredibly clear. Not just like what I drew, but like structurally, it's very clear. So we have like two options on the day. You're either trying from those lows, right, and playing the range rotation and taking off lots of risk here because we don't know if we're going to go higher. We know that this is a range, right? Like that's what we've been able to establish. There's no look for a secondary move until we can push below that. It's just going to rotate at a lower high. So now we just got to figure out what we're going to do. So you either are willing to play your edge low until it flips, or you're looking for offside liquidity above to see if this is going to rotate down once again. Right? Just balance, which is why we talked about that balance here. And what we're watching for is the trap either into these highs or into these lows, because if not, then we'll rotate back up to this edge here. And then we'll do something like this. Right, and it's the same thing on NQ. Got to get below this or this is just going to bid. So what are we doing on NQ? NQ is already showing this idea in play that we were just looking at on ES. Right, we've breached highs. They're trying to build above set highs, right? They're trying to get us over. But if this fails, right, then we'll look back in and then we'll rotate the range. Yeah, I mean, that's like you need, this is what Mario was saying when it was like you need to focus on the basics. It's like without understanding how the market works and where it's working, right? Like what things look like, you're trading blind. You need to have an understanding of the mechanics and where we're going to go and why we're going to do what we're going to do, right? To actually be able to build execution around it. But once you understand this stuff, then you can focus on, you know, the actual hard parts, which is putting risk on in the market. This stuff's easy, man. Price moves in very like particular ways. Just around our nodes and our structure, right? This stuff's easy to grasp. Just takes you, you know, a week or two to build out that pattern recognition once you have an understanding of how, you know, price traverses through nodes. But that's only half the battle. You still have to be willing to actually do something with it. The things that are going to save you from bad trades are like, are we holding above POC of previous candle? Do we have trend? Do we have offside liquidity into our lows? Have we created enough offside liquidity in our highs to actually have some sort of reversal? Or would it make more sense to buy the dip instead of trying to counter trend scalp a uptrend, right? Like, these are the things that like are just like, if you can just like ask yourself those questions, you're going to save yourself so many retarded trades. Like, I cannot reiterate that enough. It's like, are we still holding above POC of previous candle? Yeah, we are, right? Have we trapped liquidity and reoffered, showing any interest below? Like, yeah, we're at our edge, right? But is there a shift, or should I be buying the pullback to POC here instead of trying to short this? Right? Have we showed a shift? Have we showed that this buyer is no longer buying? And the answer is no, right? We're holding where we need to as of right now. There's been no reoffer. There's been no trapped liquidity. We're chopping sideways and buyers are trying to build out this top edge. So trying to short here is not great yet, because there's nothing yet letting you know that that opportunity is happening. Unless you're going to just have, you know, right? Like, what's your risk? Like, how are you going to set this up? We need this liquidity to be trapped up here, and then we need to see the reoffer below, ideally here, or this has to be your first target. So is this a good enough trade for you, like 2.5 points, for you to want to short this? And the answer to me is no, right? We haven't done enough, because we know that this is a potential bounce point here into POC, right? The buyers are still here willing to take in. So yes, there was a seller here. We could see that. But our risk, our reward is so mini here into 82.75 until we can flip it. Right? You're in such a tight little range and we don't know what's going to happen. Is this going to bounce here and then continue up of our uptrend? I don't know. I don't have the answer for you. We have to wait to see what happens, because all of the signs are pointing that this is still willing to hold and that this is still an uptrend. Same thing on NQ here into our 15, right? We're just building above. So we need to see if we're going to trap here and then push below, or your first PT is this low where we could potentially bounce in our uptrend. Like, it has to be. So you need to recognize where price and where buyers and sellers are, because it's going to inform all of your decisions that you make. Right? Like, this isn't a great short until we can push below, and then we can reoffer this liquidity that we're currently trying to build. Right? And then we can look to see if sell side is going to actually sit there on the look below and hold, and then we play that area as our reoffer for the rotation through. Right? It has to be, because this is where the buyer was last. So why am I trying to short into our previous buyer in an uptrend? It's like, oh no, I should have just bought the pullback for a continuation higher, because that's all this is. I mean, it's not, this isn't new information. I'm just trying to make sure that you have common sense instead of looking for something that is like, this is all common sense. You just need to be able to ask yourself these questions of, hey, are we still supporting the uptrend? Do we have the offside liquidity? Like, these are the questions you're supposed to ask yourself before you take a trade and put money into a market. Why do I believe that we're going to do something different? Does it make sense to be counter trend scalping an uptrend? What do I need to see for that to actually shift? What do I need to see? And before you press the buy market or sell market, you should be able to answer those questions. Because if not, if you can't answer those questions, why are you taking the trade? You have no clue how price is supposed to interact. You have no clue when you're supposed to exit. The reason why we have to ask these questions is because they are going to inform your trade plan. And without a trade plan, you're going to do what? You're going to hold a losing trade until it blows up your account off of hopium that it's going to do something different, right? You don't have set parameters that are going to limit your risk and tell you when you need to be exiting and when you're going to be reversing, right? Look, you're short here and now we just pop up to our PT and now your account's blown and you're an idiot. Instead of just buying the pullback that was holding our POC, telling you that this is an uptrend, right? Like answer basic questions to inform your trades to let you know if what you're doing is stupid or not. Remember, if we don't show any desire to push lower, then we're going to go higher, right? Like, that's the entire idea here, is like, if we're holding every sign that's telling us that we have trend up with our previous 15 minutes holding, and we can't find that trapped liquidity, then we will traverse back up to where the sellers were last. It just is what it is. That's how markets work. If there's no desire to be lower, then we will rotate and we will trade back up to where participants were last. So we hold our range, and now we're testing our range highs. If they want to hold our value edge high, then we will expand on the day instead of push back below. And it just is what it is. No matter if you think price is too high or not, the market does not care what you think. You don't matter. Trade what participants are showing, right? It does not care if you think things are overbought. You don't control price. You're a one-lot warrior. Shut the hell up and trade, right? Like, you need to tell yourself these things. Good job, Estat. Have a good day, man. I don't know. I just like, it's just, it is what it is. Like, it can be frustrating that we're pushing up as high as we are, but like, it doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. We're day traders. Just play what they give you. And what they're giving you is strong trend up and a failure at our lows, and now a clear hold of POC of previous candle and a pop, right? Like, it is what it is. Following our upside pathing instead of our downside. But if you get so engrossed, right, so like locked in on one direction, right, one analysis, one setup, and you don't even take in the consideration that that setup can be invalidated and will go in the opposite direction, right? This is how you blow up accounts, because now you're revenge trading, looking for the short, looking for the short, looking for the short. And it's like, no, the short idea failed, right? We never got the short at the lows, and we did the full rotation at the highs, and then we showed desire from buyers, right? We never trapped. We never looked back in. So what we have on our hands is uptrend with with failure from sellers to do anything of use, right? And you have to be able to develop this out because it informs your trades. Like I said before, imagine, like, you could be trying to short this entire thing and adding to the position, looking for it. And maybe you get lucky, man. Maybe there's a drastic sell that happens here into these highs. And then you come back to your break even after being offsides, $5,000. Or you just play the trend and you play with the participants in the direction that they want price to go, right? Like, why try to force something if everything is pointing to, the opposite trade? The only reason that you get locked in and you blow up is because you continue to try to force a directional bias in a market that's telling you the exact opposite, because you have no plan. All you have is the P&L on your account, and you trying to either continue to stay in an ego-driven play, right, that you're offsides on, or you're trying to look for the quick fix, which is usually some sort of reversal play where you top tick, right, or you knife catch the bottom tick, and it's based off of a pure hopium that you're going to be able to build your account up, chasing the same idea again from a higher point. And it's like, no, man, just play structure. All right, that's my rant. Let's see if we can hold above our value edge here and get some continuation. I love ranting. I just see, I get frustrated with you guys. Because I see, the same crap on a daily basis. And I've seen it for, 5 years. At some point, what are you guys going to listen? So we've done the full PVZ move from our indicator, right? We held our lows, we rotated up to our high. You've now done your full value rotation. We're looking to see if we can build outside for expansion. We have our expansion target, which is 960 from our reversion zone. If we can build above this 900, then we'll trade up into our reversion zone high. If not, right, then we've done the full traverse of our POC shift from these lows back up to these highs. So why is this so important? Well, we've shown off of this move that we're holding our POC shift at our lows, right? This lower node that we built out, that buyer is still very present and that they want to hold. And now we're trading back up into this upper node where we absorbed. What does it mean if buyers are willing to now defend this edge from where this upper node built out this morning? Well, if we're now able to defend here, right, and show interest where selling occurred last after now retesting these lows, it's telling us that we want to expand on the day, right? If we can hold this value edge, this is incredibly important to let us know, hey, not only are buyers still incredibly active down here and willing to participate, they're now willing to push higher above this news high. So let's see what they do. We're back up to our news high, and Iran was like, hey, let's put out some new news. That's what they just did. I'm getting there. I know you're getting there. You're getting there slowly but surely. You are. You definitely are. Yeah, and that's Russell, right? Same thing. Getting that push off of RTY, off that hold. Now let's see if we can build here above our ETH high. Following our pathing. I don't know, man. The things that change your mindset the most are none of this matters. All I care about is there a setup based off of the structure that I care about, right? The price points overall don't matter, man. Is there a setup that I can play within that so that I can make my money so I can get my payout, right? That's all you care about. Nothing else matters. Objectively, all you're trying to do is get to your payout. Everything else is inconsequential to you. So like all you should be looking for your entire day is like your setups that you care about. Are there participants that you're able to trade with, or is there not? Right? And if there isn't, then you move on. GG's. Move, go next. Your battle is with the prop firm, not with the market. So as soon as you meet your criteria on your daily basis to, like your $300 a day that you need, or your $1,000, I don't know what account size you're on, right? Like all your job is to meet the criteria to not blow up and hit your payout goals. If you continue to chase afterwards, right? Like you're missing the plot still. You're not battling the payout. You're not battling the prop firm for the payout. You're just ego playing the market, continuing to try to find play after play after play after already meeting your objectives, right? And I think that a lot of you are still struggling with that, which is like, I need to be here and I need to be present for every rotation, and I need to spend every waking moment watching the market instead of like, I met my goals for today. I should be proud of myself, and now I can go live my life and do something else. And what happens after this is non-consequential, right? It doesn't matter to me because I did what I needed to do on the day. I made the money that I needed, right? After you leave, right? Like it doesn't matter. You found your setup on the day. Who cares? Don't look at price. Don't look at the market. It doesn't matter. You made your objective. You did what you needed to do on the day. Now you leave and you go live your best life. You're not doing this to spend 8 hours watching charts. You're doing this to be able to press a button, make your money, and then leave and live your life. Remember that. Yeah, that's crazy, Meldino. You need a distraction, bud. uh, Man, these days, I don't even. I do my like 2.5 hours that I'm comfortable with in the market, and then I don't even sit down at my computer again. Like I can't. I'm like disgusted with myself if I sit any longer these days. Like I can't do it, man. When I was trading options, I was sitting at my computer for like 14 hours a day. So it's just awful for your health. And especially with all this news lately, man, like a Trump administration, I can't. My mental health is like zero. Trying to like read all of these headlines 24/7 and like listening to everything. Like it just was like destroying me. Like no thanks, man. Like look at this, look at this news driven garbage that they're doing to us here under these eyes. Hello? What cars come in from Europe? Bro, we have tariff news again? I can't. I have to worry about tariffs again? Holy shit. Yeah, I mean, this seems like a non-event, to be honest, but we'll see. We're just back to our buyers here. Let's see if we do anything with this liquidity. Yeah, war headlines are... We've become numb to those. Back to tariff news. This reoffer here at 80 to 900 is what I'm watching. We're watching for a potential lower high here off of that sweep. And then we'll look to see if we flip back below. Or if they're going to be able to get us back over. So really need to see absorption into this. Or we'll rotate through our range again. See what they do here. I'm not really partisan to either direction. I don't really care. But with these this liquidity potentially trapped above, if secondary sellers want to step in, it'll be into these highs. The setup is a bit clearer on NQ than on ES in my opinion. Let's watch to see how they interact here into this again, this 80 to 900, 880 to 900. If we don't have follow through relatively soon off of this lower high, then they'll retrace this move if we can't take out wick lows off that news candle. Because if there's no desire to push lower, then this is just algo driven, and we still need secondary buyers to initiate for the actual move down. So it'll be a really important shift. Yeah, I mean, this market is just so annoying to play, man, because of all of the fucking news. Alright, let's see what they do here. And like liquidity just dries up. Like look at NQ. There's like 3 contracts at per price. Like what are you supposed to do with this? Just watch 290 on ES. That's the edge of our buying node up here. So if sell side was going to put in a lower high, they'd do it into that 290 to like 295. 290. 295. And this is NQ testing into our edge. We'll watch to see if sell side holds this or if we flip. Russell sideways, waiting. Just retracing our sell side candle from the news. ES holding structure still from sell side candle. NQ just fully retracing it, doing NQ things with low liquidity. holding our edge in 900s, needs to get back below 80 and then reoffer for us to care here. We should expect buyers to try to defend 80 on this retest from our 900. What they're going to try to do is hold and grab us above this POC shift, right? What price needs to do is get into here, trap, and then rotate down in this area. And then we can go where we want. What manufacturing do we do? What imports do we bring in? I feel like all of like the European car companies have factories here, no? I don't know enough about cars. Like, is this actually even news? The BMW's factories aren't in the United States? I don't know enough. I mean, like, I know, like, even, like, Japanese factories are in the United States. States. Yeah, so it's basically just Porsche and Volkswagen, and then like the sports models of BMW. Everything else is made here. I don't know how anyone can develop or like want to build a factory here when policy can change every 5 seconds. It's crazy, man. Like he takes away tariffs because the king visits and please like just like gets on his knees for Trump, and now like there's policy change and now there's policy change again. Like how is like a manufacturer are you going to be like, yeah, let's spend billions of dollars building a factory in the United States, and then 5 minutes later Trump says, you know what, never mind. It's like no one's going to do it, so they're just going to push the tariff on the consumer instead of building a factory here and call it a day. Like how to like make that make sense? Ford and GM stock down. Like what are you talking about? Dude, what are you talking about, dude? Like you should go up. I mean, I have zero faith in the sell. I'm going to be honest with you guys. That to me just seemed like the most non-news event at highs, an algo-driven sell that had no follow-through. But we'll see. They're absorbing into 900. Like they really are. It's very visible. And they're absorbing into our 290 on ES, but like really? I don't know. The lack of continuation after this initial move from algos are a little disconcerting. It's a little disconcerting. Like, I would have liked to see us tag a bit higher on ES. I didn't get filled. So it's just like, are we just going to buy here again, like in the last attempt, and then go up? This is what I was looking for, XY, just to push into this. I didn't get filled, though. And I'm not really trying to chase choppy price, personally. So maybe I missed the move. Yeah, good for you. Good job. Yeah, as long as you can get it, you're good. I'm going to try to initiate on NQ, I think, if I can't get my ES fill. It's just I need to see a bit more. The look below after absorbing here would be very important. So the shift of POC for the rotation down. Because if not, then it's POC holding, and then we're just looking for the popover value for the continuation higher. So let's see what we do. Testing into our 80 now after rejecting 900. Let's see if we can get this offer to hold below 80 now. And then start to move us down. See if offer can hold here now that we've established this look above. Right, this is now what we're watching to see if these guys are offsides, and then we can get the rotation, or if they're gonna hold. I mean, I'd like to see 60 and then 43, 60 for the 1-to-1, but yeah, there it is. See if we can get the next move into our like 43 to 37. Just following pathing off of the look in and then the failure. So I didn't get filled on ES, but we did get the fill on NQ. Did you short? Was I not clear? I said I missed it on ES, but I'll be trying on the look below 80 from our 900 to 880. Oh, yeah, it's on stream as well. Just the pathing. I just got filled on secondary contract into 43s. I have one left. I never got filled on ES, sadly. But this is where I'd be looking to risk off on ES and then leave a runner for that 60 to 65. We're just back down to the spacing here. Right, it's our full balance pathing. Yeah. Yeah, good job, good job. Like I said, I just didn't get filled on ES, and I'm uncomfortable if I don't get filled, so I'll just switch over to the thing that makes more sense to me. No reason not to play it, but remember, like what we were looking for here on NQ was a look into this area, absorption, reoffer, push down, because then this becomes our risk. That's the whole idea. And that's exactly what we saw here with our pathing. So this then becomes our risk to then play once we've identified a seller stepping in. Later, man. So, we'll see if we get the full move. But we just held lows here in our node. Need to flip this for more, and then we could look for that full shift down. Until then, right, we're watching for a potential like lower high here, I think. So we push in to 65 to 75. If they can do that and then get us below 30s, then we should be able to get one more leg down. But if they hold here, then this will just be a range trade back up to our original entry. So we want to see this like 65, 75 here, ideally hold the lower high where we saw this offer try to step in. Right, it's either like we're going to hold the tail of this node. Right, this is a node. Are we going to now hold the mid to low end of this node, or are we going to trade through the node? So now that we've pushed into this lower structure, is this now going to offer and then rotate us down into this, or no? That's basically what I'm watching. I don't know, we'll see. Let's just have one contract left. So we've taken off two. Something else you have to keep in mind is we've done the full rotation on ES, right? So expecting relief there makes sense, and then we need to see ES and RTY show their next leg down with NQ here if we're going to do it. Or it doesn't make sense rationale-wise to be looking for more if ES and RTY have all that room above to push up instead off of our full rotation. Yeah, I think that's fine for a little bit of a relief bounce, but you have to respect the downtrend that's in play. So you have to be closing into, or at least taking off your first risk into that 70. Same thing with the ES into our value of previous candle at 280. Right, we can expect to bounce here into our lows, but we shouldn't, you know, we should respect the overall trend to the downside. Yeah. That was my first trade I've taken today. Kind of crazy. So again, I'd like to see 65.75 hold for a lower offer if we're going to get continuation down. If not, then we're just going to rotate right back up to my break even. We need Russell to stop moving up for this next leg. So you're watching as we push into this area on ES and RTY into our value edge again, just for that lost momentum so that NQ can do something new. If not, then again, we're going to rotate right back up to our 80. This is not a terrible deal, I don't think. $27" for 154. Later's, you know. I thought we bought a stake in Spirit. Did that not go through or something? Why is Spirit Airlines shutting down? Did I miss something? Later, Ben. Have a good one, man. No merger, so that isn't happening? Okay. Nice. I had some people message me yesterday asking for help or like to go over trades. I will do that this weekend. So if I haven't responded to you yet in DMs, I will respond to you this weekend, just FYI. Look at this absolute look at this absolute unit of a bear. I'm still in this short. Never got stopped. It's just back to under our first PT. No change. Just holding. This is such a giant. What is that? Bro, like what are we doing right now? Okay. Good reoffer so far, 55. Sweeper holding from Trump's secondary comments here. Let's see if we can hold below for this secondary leg down to final target at our 784 or 790 area. I'm trying to hold my last contract for this, but we'll see. I mean, it's just what our pathing's on screen, but we need to actually show interest, or it's gonna come right back up. Maybe I should put that at like 95. I don't know. Yeah, that bear is ridiculous. Oh boy. Yapper in chief. Alright, he's talking. I'll post it if you guys want to hear him yap. This camera angle on this stream is insane, by the way. Alright, I'm turning that off. That camera angle is insane. He's trying his best, man. Hell yeah. Are you guys gonna buy the McDonald's fry subscription for $20 a month? What are we thinking? Yeah, me either. As soon as I saw I went to get breakfast one day, and it was like 250 or something for a hash brown, and I just left. That was the last time I tried to go to McDonald's. Like, what are we doing? It's a potato, man. Holy, just can we either stop me out or go to Target? You know what I mean? I prefer it true. Yeah, me too, man. Why would I tell you that? True. I don't know about enjoying, but I am here, man. Mm. What's up, big dog? I feel like I'm living in a loop. I'm trying to hold this runner for this push down, but I don't know, man. We got the Trump volatility going on right now. Ah, true. Okay. Wow. Right, did you see that bear that I posted? Holy. You scroll up for that thing. What is that? Uh, true. Holy. Gotta get your fill, man. Gotta make it worth. Yeah. Dap. Holy. Did you get the orange chicken? I mean, Panda Express is not bad. It's just, I mean, they load that up with MSG, man. It's hard to be bad. Mm, sad. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. How is that strange? I don't know. And then I don't think I've ever been to a city that didn't have like a solid Chinese spot. Thai makes sense. There's Thai food in every city, but that's because the Thai government does that. Later, man. Have a good weekend. Huge. Glad to hear it. Mm-hmm. Oof. Blows my mind that price moves off of like none of this is new, man. Like when are like how like that's how you know it's algo driven. Like none of this is new. None of this makes sense. Yeah. It's so annoying. Man, I love Mapo tofu. That looks so good. My mobile app for this Discord is broken. I only have like half the channels. Oh yeah, Szechuan cuisine. It's very good. It's my favorite. Is Discord having issues? Like, what is going on? I can't do anything on the mobile app. Oh no, I don't have service. Okay. Let me see. I just realized I'm not connected to Wi-Fi. This phone is broken. Holy, I need a new phone. All right, there we go. Jesus. Are you going to get the 26? Is that a phone? What the hell's that? Oh, I don't know, man. I'll see you when I go in there. I need something. I hate these bulky phones. I hate them with a passion. I want something small. Yeah, this Mapo tofu kiz. This is from my local Szechuan spot. Sheesh. Look at that broth color. You're gonna feel that one later. The Pixel 9. Let me see what Verizon texts me, like they actually spam me. Let's see what they were offering. I think they may have been offering the Pixel. Well, they keep telling me like just like turn in your phone, bro, and it's time, like it's free, and I keep saying nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I think I paid like $200, maybe. I mean, I had an S20.
Yeah.
It's like 6-year-old phone, and they took it for like $1,000 still.
So they're saying I can get the Pixel 10 Pro for free, no trade-in required, keep my plan, no additional costs, or $1,000 off the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL. So I'll probably get the Pixel 10, I guess, because it's free. You can't beat that. And by free, I mean I've been paying for it monthly, basically. because that's how that works. I'll be right back. Phones are one of those things that I'm like totally fine being like completely cheap on. Like I wouldn't be cheap on a PC, but phone, like I don't do anything. I don't utilize any of the things on a phone. You know? Like I go on Reddit. I go on YouTube. I use Bluetooth for Audible. And I use the Kindle app. Other than that, like I don't need like a quantum processor and like blah 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 blah, or like a 200 megapixel camera. Like that, none of these upgrades have like been worthwhile. It's just bulkier and bulkier and bulkier. I'd get a flip phone, Rory, but I feel like you have to replace them like yearly or bi-yearly because it's gonna break at the hinge. Yeah, what I want is like I almost want like I want like a Kindle with mobile data is what I want.
You can get that.
Yeah. I want to be able to like take calls but have like the paperweight screen and like minimal app.
Trump has concluded his remarks to the press.
Like I basically want this, but not as clunky. Like, why is this so clunky, man? Yeah, $400 and it's clunky as hell. I want basically like the Books Palma, but with a SIM card slot. God, this is taking a while to get to Target. I might just close. I was so mad that we went to my target to that 60 after hours. Oh my god! I closed fully in F4 once we started to push back down after hitting 43, and then we just like immediately ripped to 60. It's like, oh, of course, you know, of course. Look up the light phone 3. All right, let me look it up. Why is it a square though?
Light, man.
Interesting. How much is those? 700 bones? For what? They're charging me more to give me less. They really labeled the screws. That's funny. Yo, what do you guys know about this feature called screws? Like what? Nice. Indeed. So the reason it's more expensive is because they can't steal all my data. I'm not the product. I'm assuming. So it's either pre-order. You can't even buy the light phone 2. It's pre-order. So the 2 and the 3 are both pre-order? What? Get me a Trump phone. I still can't believe that 30,000 people bought the pre-order for the Trump phone. It's just haven't gotten anything. Actual scam.
Voice news disconnected.
Yes, comes to POC here. I'll be in testing queue.
I hate everyone. That's how I do. So you hate everyone.
Meta acquires robotics AI company to help build humanoid tech. Meta is buying assured robot intelligence, terms not disclosed.
Oh, I'm sure you've interacted with it. Yeah, you interacted with it once, and now it's just over for you. Good luck, bud. You just hit the click "not interested" to fix your timeline. The three dots in the right corner. Not interested. Do that like 3 times, then you'll stop seeing those posts. I mean, supposedly, yeah. I mean, nothing is. It's they have to go through evidence, right? I love that all of the incels changed their mind though when they saw a picture of him. Like that matters. Like, what does it matter what he looks like? Like, oh, she couldn't possibly have liked him. Like, what do you... Alright, man. Like, I've never seen... Like, both of these people are getting so much spotlight. Like, if it's not true, this poor woman, her entire, like, career is just donezo. And if it is true, the dude just is getting rolled now for his looks and for going through this and then it being fake, right? Like, it's just crazy. Regardless, though, yeah, no, it's just like the memes are insane. But like the poor people, like you don't know which way it's gonna go, but regardless, like it's going to affect them for the rest of their lives. What a weird story. Do you think it's like a Hail Mary play where like he was cheating on his wife and it was like, no, I was being forced into it, if anything? Like, why else would you make up all that? Like, it's gotta be like a Hail Mary. Which again is why like I don't believe like the looks thing. Like, people are attracted to different things, man. Like, he's not an attractive man for sure, but like it is what it is. Those kind of relationships aren't about that. Yes. And there's a reason why you've got like the work husband, the work wife thing is a meme, right? It's like, I don't know. Too many people talking about it. But good meme. No, if it's not true though, like that poor lady. Like, I can't. She's already working in like such a male dominated space. And now that's gonna be like her image with her for the rest of her career. But like, if it is true, and this man is just getting rolled, he was getting made fun of for even complaining about it, and now he's getting complained about his looks as well, and being called a liar. Like, either way, it's rough. It's just rough. Boy. The real loser here is that man's wife, who just got called like a fish head. Like, regard. It's like she's the real loser here. Damn. Just getting rolled for no reason. Like, that's just mean, man. Russell is holding this market up right now. We're gonna have to wait to see what happens. I think back up at like 818 would be my guess, after holding VWAP once again, pushing and holding POC now. So I would expect that until we get this lost momentum here again, you're gonna have to wait for the market to do anything. That'd be my guess, with us holding and then making that higher low at POC and day open. Gonna have to see what happens up here at ETHI again. Until then, the market's kind of at a standstill, sadly. Oh yeah, I mean all the names, all the squeeze names started to play again. As soon as you see like Nokia going and like all of the car names again, like Avis, Carvana, or whatever, like oh god, it's GameStop. You're gonna have like your stupid AMC play again. It's just it's over. Hertz, yeah, all the squeeze names. Retail going crazy for that last little liquidity. Yeah, BlackBerry, BB. I can't believe Tom hasn't been talking about squeezes. He loves his squeeze, his dopamine squeezes. I mean, not only is Intel a meme stock, it's also just communism.
That's also true.
Like, Rory, you listened to 49% new artists this month. Kind of cracked.
All AI.
Kind of cracked. I'm out here ranking fifth. Unlucky. Wait, but he only listened to 92 strong songs in the week. Hello. It's kind of fake. How do you guys not listen to music while you just sit here? Like, what are you guys doing? You can't code and listen to music? I guess so. Okay. I wish I could, man. I'd play music on stream, but I'd get copyrighted. I used to be able to do it, but then they muted all of the VODs, so it's bad for you guys who actually go back and listen, because everything would be muted. I could technically do it where you could hear it during the stream, but then it wouldn't be in the VOD. I just have to create a separate audio channel that doesn't record. But I figure that most people don't want to hear my shit. Like, if we're being honest, you know? Man on jet-propelled hoverboard leads dog on jet ski is a crazy title. I use YouTube Music. Because I already pay for YouTube Premium, so I might as well use their music service. Wait, that dog is so good. This video is ridiculous. Yeah, I use YouTube Music. I think Rory uses Spotify. But then we just all connect to this app called Last FM that tracks everything, so that I can still see like what he's listening to. It's like and I can see like what Sven and Surf are listening to, and Dubs, yeah, and Adrian. Yeah, this will be our test to let us know. At least I hope. If RTY just wants to go again, then it's GG. I'll get stopped out of my last NQ short. Temporarily unavailable. What the hell? That's weird. Are you on like a work computer or something? But yeah, you should make an account. If you use Spotify, it's just like it'll track all of your stuff and then give you recommendations. It's pretty sweet. That's how I find a lot of my music these days. Is because you can find like adjacent users. So it'll like show your neighbors of people who, well, it'll show you people that have similar tastes in music, and it'll also just recommend you new music based off of like artists that you're listening to. So then you have like two different ways. It's very good. Yeah, the recs are great. And then what's really cool is it'll also create playlists for you that then you can import into Spotify if you want. Is it free? There's a free version, yeah. You only pay for it if you want like the more in-depth stats. Here, like you can see this, right? So like I pay for the premium, so then I can see like my weekly reports and like my monthly stats, where it'll like go through. Why is it so zoomed in? So it'll like go through and like give me breakdowns. It's basically like a Spotify Wrapped, but weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. I can like go and segment it by how I want. Yeah. I'm like a kind of like a stat freak, so the stuff like this is very cool to me. Yeah. So like breaks down all of my genres and what I listen to and like where things are from, and I don't know. I'm a big fan of this kind of stuff. But then like what's really cool about it is like it'll show me like this is like you have a social profile where people can comment, and then you can follow people as well. So I can go to like Rory's, and then I can see like what he's listening to, and then like the artists and what he's enjoying right now, and then I can go to his reports as well. But what's cool is like you can also go to neighbors, and it'll find people who have very similar tastes in music to you based off of the artists that you listen to, and then you can click on their profiles, and then you'll find like artists that you're like, oh, like we have a super connection where we listen to a lot of the same stuff. Is there anyone that I don't know, but this guy is like a very similar taste in music? And then I'll find people like that a lot, where it's like, oh shit, like yeah, I want to follow this guy. But then there's also just like the explore section, which is really cool, which will be like, you listen to this album, you'd probably really like this. And then it'll create playlists for you that you can then import directly into Spotify or Apple Music, or just like show you the albums and direct it to YouTube. Yeah, it's very cool. Especially if you care about anything like that, which is like I'm like the one thing I'm incredibly kind of dorky with is that it's like give me a bunch of graphs, man. Give me the analytics. Yeah. That's crazy that we went right to target, got back into our range, and then immediately just fucking blew. You can see like these balance ideas even work on these larger time frames. Like the recovery of these areas just go crazy. How do you get different charts on tabs? What do you mean? You don't have these tabs? Dude, if Russell keeps pushing, like, this is just going up, you know? Like, we got a trap here, basically. And then get back in, or I just expect that RTY holds ETH high in our value edge and then keeps going. Do you agree, Mario? Or, like this is it, right? Oh, I'll watch for the same trade again here on NQ. Absorption into 880, 900, reoffer below 880. First target 840 if we're going to do this rotation again. But if not, like, we're just looking for 900s to go bid with Russell holding our value edge, in my opinion. And then we keep going. So this will be the test. Same trade as before, where we're either going to get this for this push up or failure here. And then we do the same short again. But if Russell doesn't have follow through, it's going to be rough. So we just look for that liquidity, just like with the last attempt. Wait, so Maldito, you don't have tabs. Why don't you have tabs? How do you use TradingView if you don't have tabs? Do you have tabs, Mario? Surely. How to get... Are you using the app or are you using the browser? Oh, I think that's why. Download the app, man. What are you doing? Some absorption into this 880, 890 area so far at NQ. But we need sell side to show its hand again. Or again, like, this is where the bid will try. Again, this is just the same trade as before, where I'll show you how we looked in this area last time. So we built out this little node here after the sweeper down from the news candle at 900. It got back below 880, reoffered, and then we did this rotation down. We are here again, watching the same area into this tail. Are we going to fail to take out these highs and put in a lower high here now on reoffer into 80? Or are we going to be able to do something new? I think we'll have an idea if this relief is going to hold or not on Russell retest. Right now we're just trying to build out a flag here. So if Russell can hold the value edge as we do this, we'll figure out which way we're going to go. And this will probably be my last trade, and then I'll dip if we get this. It's either going to be a breakout trade here off of a sell side failure with RTY continuing in trend, or we'll get the nice reoffer absorption and then rotation back through. But ES and RTY look much better than NQ in my opinion, like for the bull continuation. Because like NQ could, or ES could go to like 290 pretty easily here if we hold this node at 75 to 80. Right, because then it's just like a POC retest, and then we can just trade up to value high into this LVN. Right, I think all we have to do is just find some liquidity into this, with Russell holding our value edge, and it's like, oh, okay. So NQ can still have a seller here, but it can still be bullish on these retests on POC on ES and RTY value high. It's a little awkward for NQ enjoyers. Like this guy at 83 on ES surely pulls, right?
On the way up, they were transacting.
We have 1 minute until new 15s. Hopefully we get a decision here into this new 15. $75 to 80 still holding on ES. Russell still holding our highs. Pushing above on the open of new 15. POC's holding is supportive on NQ at our 80 level, holding that edge we talked about. ES holding POCs as well, continuing to push up. So my worry here is that NQ continues to just take in into 80 to 90, or sorry, 80 to 900, while RTY and ES push to target, and then as soon as they lose Momo, right, all these buyers have been absorbed into above 80, and then we do the NQ move to downside with the divergence. So I'm a bit scared of that. It's like as soon as that these come to our targets here, we're then doing the NQ short trade. I mean, it's not really a scared thing, but that is what I see as a potential trade. So you're just waiting for these to stagnate, and then any liquidity above will be trapped, and then it's just a rotation back down to this edge. It's just like a big battle here at our 80 liquidity on NQ. The sound effects of this video are crazy. So just like we talked about, we have, right, like a little bit of a micro range here. We have liquidity offside above, we have reoffer, we have rotation down. So that's kind of how I'm looking at this area, and you can see that on footprint as well. But we have to watch to see how participants react as we push into those buyers down at 67 off that value low edge. RTY and ES still just kind of trucking away, but we now have this as a potential setup here. With Russell pushing into our reversion zone. And here's your first target on NQ into that 67.50 value low of that previous candle with Russell as soon as we lose that Momo with that offside liquidity above into that 80 to 900. And let's see what the buyers do here. Hopefully reactive and then continue, but we'll see. Again, it's just chopping sideways while we wait for RTY and ES to now figure out what they want to do now that they've done their full move to target. And Q, there's a very clear known seller here from our last rotation, so they can just kind of like oscillate while we figure out what we want to do on this new high that we're putting. I guess new high on the day. Yeah, like that makes sense, because you should expect some taking profit here into this value low of our previous candle, right? And then we figure out if we get continuation or not. next target for me would be 850 if we broke, if we can continue down, just for this LVN. Like, none of this is really meaningful. It's just like the only thing I saw in NQ with that little liquidity up into these highs, playing the same setup as before. While we wait for ES and RTY to figure out if they want to just build at this edge. Right, like this is all we're doing, is just building out this area. So we can just like chop here. And then overall the move could continue on the higher time frame. And I'd be just as happy. Just watch our POC retest here on ES as we come back down into 75 to 80. Back to initial profit target here at 67.50. Bid still here at the value of our previous candle. This is one of those trades where it's like not huge points, but it's like a pretty for sure thing for the rotation. This is one of those like 1-to-1s where like I'll take, because I see that like price will move in that, in accordance to, right, like the zone on the look back in, and it's like, okay, yeah, we're just gonna move down to this value again off of a failure to look above this POC from previous candle. And as long as like your targets make sense, then like stuff like this is pretty obvious, and we don't need the continuation to at least still be profitable in it. But like if you hold with the expectation that we're gonna like do like huge targets to downside, then these trades can be really gross for you, because now all of a sudden you're not just playing a little counter trend scalp with a potential for continuation on a runner, right? You're now holding for full loss, and now a trade that was, you know, a 1.5, a 1.4 to 1 risk to reward is now just your stop for no reason. But like when you can find moves like this that have like a pretty high probability of actually playing out, and you can just play like the little rotation through, like, to me that I actually really enjoyed stuff like that. Because it's a lot easier to find 1-to-1 or like 1.5 to 1 trades that have a high probability of playing than trying to find, you know, a 5-to-1 and holding through. There are a lot more opportunities in that regard, if that makes sense. And then like if we get the runner, then it's like pretty juiced. But if we don't, then it'll be all right. You know, like no real harm. The only harm, again, is if you don't risk off first contracts into first target. Then it becomes an issue. And ES still looks good in my opinion. I don't know about you, Mario, but like there's nothing. Yeah. Agreed. And again, like the whole idea here is that NQ is just at sell side and we're just oscillating while Russell is able to build here and ES is able to build here for this rotation back up to our value edge. And then maybe a decision gets made on NQ where we breach over 900s and then we actually get some expansion potential. But as like this node is building here, NQ is basically just in a standing pattern, right, while we wait. I think if they needed to like any understanding of why I'm saying what I'm saying is like just look at your profiles where POC to value on NQ is up here at the highs and on ES it's down here at these lows, right? So we have like two different ideas where this can just like stagnate here with this liquidity that's trapped over, right? While we wait and build out this flag while we basically just chop sideways at a higher point with the potential for this to come all the way down, right? But if not, then it'll just flag here while we wait for ES to develop and come back up to this value high. That's at least how I'm viewing it, right? And we can see like on our NQ and ES charts as well, like we need something to shift here, or we're just in this upper trend, right? Holding. So like as we build here, we'll get a decision as this area builds out and all of this liquidity on these multiple candles inside bars that we're now performing, we figure out which way we want to break. So for NQ, like for the longs, you have to be kind of waiting to see how we interact into this 900 value edge, because if not, right, like it feels pretty awkward trying to buy anything other than the look over POC and then the retest, right, which is what we're trying to do now, because if not, then this is just going to be a rejection and then a rotation back through. So we really need to see interest over this edge for me to really care. But once we do, right, we can build this out, because we don't really have an excess of a tail here in these highs. So then we'll have the same kind of range. Like think about how Vern did this, right? We can look at this as a measured move for like this huge tail that we built out on the day. And then we can bring this up if we can actually expand. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. So our targets for up here into 080 to complete the profile. But we got to show interest over it first, you know? If not, then again, like this is just gonna suck. I mean, I think if we can build over 900s, we'll go for that 960 and then that 080. But if this continues to hold, then there's no reason to think that, right? If there's no interest over our value edge in building out this area, then like we can't really say anything, right? If they just continue to absorb here and rotate us down while ES and RTY trap above, and then we, you know, rotate back through, it's like, oh, okay, well, that's a bit problematic then. And we can see like POC is shifting, right, on NQ here from our 830 to this 880, like I talked about. on the other chart that we were showing. So like our POC is shifting back up to this upper node on the two distributions that we've built out on the day. From this, again, this 830 low, where we need to flip for that secondary move. We've now shifted from these buyers down here, and we're now back up to this large two-sided trading that's up here at this 880, which has shifted our POC on the lower time frame. So like, again, if this fails, right, we have a POC shift, and then we have a target of where we would go if this does fail. Right, that's just based off of the POC, the developing POC model that I post all the time. Right, we can always use those as targets once we fail to either sustain on the shift. We'll use that previous developing as where we're headed then, which is already on screen, right? That's what we have drawn, but we just gotta wait. This might be a I'm right, but it's gonna take 2 hours trade. Classic afternoon, you know? I mean, there's your 83. I think we go higher. I think we go to 89, but we'll see. We need over 900 on NQ. It's a lot of absorption happening into this 900 on NQ. Hints of compromise. That's where we're at. Just a little sprinkle of compromise is being offered. Grotto, man, where you been? I missed you asking me if I would go to a concert that I have no interest in, you know? Here, I'm gonna lure him in with this post. Got him. That's the craziest take I've ever seen. Jenny Fire Tame Impala, meh? What? It's so weird to have K-pop stands in the chat, man. Holy. Bro, the more you beg for 900, the less we're gonna get filled. Like, 50 seconds till new 15s. This 80 retest on NQ, really important. This is the retest of our POC shift here on NQ. We've got a decent amount of liquidity taken in at that 83. Buyers took in a bit off sides. We'll watch to see what happens as we push down into 76, 75 area, I think. Just POC retest. Yeah. And it's just that NQ trade that we continue to talk about with the trapped liquidity into 80 to 900. How? This is, of course, your first risk off on NQ if you're playing this. It's the same rotation and short we played before. Look below 80s after trapping above, and then just into our 67 here. Next target would be that 830 that we're looking for, following pathing. If not, then we just watch Russell and ES as we push down into this target. This is where we should expect the bid to be on ES. This is POC. And then we watch to see if they get back up or if Russell's going to lead down off of the failure to sustain here at our value retest. Again, RTY is moving with Russell momentum, so we're just waiting on that like we talked about. But again, you should expect a bit of relief here on Russell as we come into this, which will give you your first risk off on NQ and ES if you are trading this, especially as we pop down into this 850, 855 area on NQ. That has to be your first target, or at least your first risk off because of the potential relief here on Russell. If Russell fails to sustain a value edge, we rotate back through, then you'll have a much better shorting opportunity for our continuation opportunity, I should say. So you just watch this edge and we see if we bid or if we'll rotate back through off of a failure. But again, you should be expecting some relief here, that which will result in the pop like we talked about at our 850, 855 on NQ. Let's see if we get a secondary opportunity or if that's it. Should be dependent on what we do with ES looking below POC and Russell testing our edge. Can it sustain or not?
Decent ESIs here in the mid. Some absorption.
Yeah, and I can take a screenshot to show you what that looks like for both sides of this on ES with the understanding of that 83 that we were looking for, and then this absorption here down here into our 75. Just did back into this node. This is your retest now off of our bounce, our first target on NQ into that LVN with Russell finding just even a pause, right? All it has to do is pause for this market to actually treat it as a pivot. And now we're getting a bit of relief, and we'll get our reoffer at 80s to see if we put in a lower high here, trapping those three POCs above us as resistance, right? All this liquidity up into our 880 and 900. Continues to remain such an incredibly strong pivot on the day. What a wick. RTY into ETH high. Again, this is where we'll be looking for a bounce and then a pushback over 820, or we're going to look for the rotation back down to like 813 off of the failure, and then to sustain value high, and then I'll look back in my opinion. $80 offer held, rotation back down. If you didn't get it on first attempt, right? There it is again. Again, great first risk off if you're playing this on NQ. We always take off into our lows, and then we look to see if we can get the continuation down to full target following plan of 830 off of the failure and absorption into 880 to 900 with Russell lead. Right, it's just what we talked about, is ES and RTY moving up the target with NQ sideways where we absorb, failure to establish above our value high, and then rotation back down. Right? Yes or no? Okay. But like being patient and waiting for that and understanding that like you have that weird discrepancy where like NQ has like a very clear known seller, and then we're just like waiting for ES to lose momentum with Russell, and then we get full market participation. Like that is like such a big Q. I don't know. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, we're going to probably move all the way down until day open here into our 813, 814 area on Russell off of the flip of our value, right? And just go back down to POC. Maybe we get a retest of ETH high before that, but you should be like half out of your position by now. And then we just play off of that 880 retest, right? Because now, again, we don't need to take the first initial look in. All we need to know or see is the sustained failure above and then the look below, and then we play the reoffers, because then this becomes the risk, right? That's the important part. And then we have the momentum of the rest of the market. Yeah, and like, again, it's the POC shift failure, right? It's what we talked about. Failure to establish at 80s, and then the rotation down to 830 is target. Right, that's this setup. There's nothing crazy about this when you look at it from just a structural perspective. The problem is that we had divergence with ES, right? So we had to wait for ES and RTY to catch up so that we could just play this very basic NQ setup. Or for it to fail, right? And then establish above our value, right? And then bid. I would say 64 is your target on ES here once we take out this wick low. Anything into this. We got that buyer there. But like, think about, like, this is why I love this 5-minute chart that I built for you guys, because it's so fucking simple. But like, do you see that trapped liquidity?
It's keeping an eye on the S&P 500, seeing a decline here. No headlines.
And then that seller just stepping in? Yeah, man, right? Right, like you can just wait for shit like that for confluence, and then you just play to your like those big deltas on the side, and then just like call it a fucking day. Right, because it's not about just that 1200; it's about the secondary afterwards, right? With the sell, and then we have follow through, and then we have a secondary, right? Like at the 75s, and then we get a push down and aggressive activity. It's like, oh, okay, like to me, that's what I'm looking for. Especially when we have the setup, we have an idea of what we want to happen on NQ, because it's the same trade we just took. It's just the tug of war idea where it's like, oh, when the market moves together and we have sync, we get speed and confidence. When it doesn't, things get choppy, and then we trade around the participants who are in that auction particularly, right? So like if we know that there are NQ participants here and we know there are NQ participants here, we're going to trade between them until we meet those the participants where they have a price that they care about on RTY and ES, right? We're going to just be in a transitional period where we trade in a very clear auction in this upper node until someone breaks us out. And sometimes we need a catalyst for that to happen on ES and NQ, on ES and RTY, to help get us out of said area. But, I mean, great PVZ play with the look in, failure to push above, reoffer, rotation down. And then again, just into this node. And we have confluence with our 50-minute POCs like we were talking about, right? No interest above. We'll watch this retest on Russell for the next leg if it's going to happen. If RTY is serious for the downside, right, we're going to reject now our value hedge, and then we'll rotate down from this following our structure for the move down to POC. That'll give you your next leg. For ES, I don't really have much. We're just testing our value edge now. We bounced our 30-second opening range. It's very hard to look for more here for me personally, because we get this bounce. We'll watch to see if we either recover our value edge
and then rotate back up, or if this holds and then we have to battle with this liquidity here, which I don't know how long that's going to take. But like if we can get through it, previous day value high at 51s would be my target, 52s. I just delete. Russell should lead directionally. We'll figure it out from there. It's the same setup, right? It's you just put like a fixed range on this if you want, and then this becomes the area where you watch. Either get back in or it'll reject a failure to get back on this upper distribution, just like on NQ. And you can see the same things, you know, on NQ. Right. We'll watch a reoffer here into this like 860, 870 ideally. I'd like a lower high here. I'll try to look for an ad, but we need Russell to lose momentum as we push into this, or it's going to be a lost cause and it's going to just come back up to my break even. If I get stopped that, I'm leaving. I don't want to stay here for the full session. And I'll get trapped here. I'm just watching like our POC to value here on our previous candle on on NQ. Again, if Russell has momentum and we get back up in here and we don't show any interest, then it's GG's for short term. For ES, we have to move this, adjust with our last candle. Just retesting POC from the other side now, but it didn't sustain. So we look for ES to come back up into POC. We look for Russell to retest our value edge. We look to see if these guys are offsides and if sell side is going to hold this. If they slam it down from here, then great, we get another leg. If not, then that's the end of the move. We traded from this upper node back down to this node here. So we watch to see if we lose that momentum as we push into these areas. And this is just, we're looking at that POC to value of our previous 15-minute candle on footprint, as well as our overall daily structure.
According to SNN TV citing IOGC Navy, they say that with control of over nearly 2,000 kilometers of Iran's coastline in the Persian Gulf and Strait of Hormuz will make this water area a source of livelihood and power for the dear people of Iran. Over security. This is saying that the new management of the Persian Gulf is set and will be implemented based on the historic command of the supreme leader of the Islamic Revolution.
I mean, we either bounce here at 55s or we flip and then rotate down. So I'm going to just move my stop to 70, I guess. Either I get taken out or I don't, but I'm kind of done with today. So we'll see. Just gonna be playing off of this. I can't really be bothered to be here anymore. Want to go lay down before I get even more sick.
Good time, best time.
I'm glad we ended up getting a couple trades though. Not mad about that. Just back to our 55s. 70 still holding. RTY going up, not down, right? We have a divergence. We gotta wait for that before you get another leg. ES trying to recover our value edge. Holding POC as resistance currently. No change. Russell just needs to lose that Momo if we're going to do another leg, or again, this is going to trap liquidity, and then you're going to get your rotation up now that we've failed to push lower, and then we'll still just have to look for that rotation over that 900, right? All we're doing right now is just trading within a balance. Previous buyer here, previous seller here. For anything new, we need a shift like we have pathed. Yeah, okay. I'm stopped. Goodbye. That's Russell into our highs there. Good luck with the rest of your day. Yeah. It might go again, but I'm not going to be here for it because it's going to trap me in here for the rest of the session. Peace. I will see you all Monday. Goodbye, goodbye. Oh, and again, if you messaged me, I will respond this weekend. I got to look through them. I got a couple big ones after our rant yesterday. So I have to read through. All right. Peace.